this is not correct. You can see how good the tread life is over here. And then on the insides, on both insides, actually, from the looks of it, which is odd, because that one actually doesn't seem to have an issue when I jacked it up like this, but this one certainly does. So it's moving at the ball joint, which is, I kind of expected the tie rod ends to be bad for these guys here, but actually recently, as in probably 40,000 miles ago, swapped out the entire steering rack and then did new, inner and outer tie rod ends, and it doesn't really look like there's movement there. Not super happy about that. I'm going to jack up the other side and double check once I have both tires in the air, see what kind of movement I get. Alright, I've got both sides on jack stands now, because I don't fancy being crushed to death. You can see how badly worn the inners are, which kind of sucks, because I mean, for what I paid for these, I think I've gotten 3 seasons out of them, so I'll be fine. I'm happy with just replacing 2, because the rear tires look really, really good yet. So I'll probably swap those to the front, and then just buy 2 news for the rear. 2 news for the rear. 2 new tires for the rear. You guys already saw the ball joint on the A-arm over there moving. So I'm going to need a new A-arm, which isn't terrible. I think it's like $80 for a Moog A-arm. One of the nicer ones. I'll have to check, actually. This might still be under warranty, because I feel like I replaced both of these not that long ago, so I'm gonna have to check. But there's something interesting going on this side. The A-arm, the ball joint, I think had a very, very small amount of play. Let me check here quick. Yeah, you can hardly tell that it moves. So I'm not too concerned about that. What I do have is something interesting here. And you can see I've got this open so I can see the steering wheel while I do this. I don't know if I'll be able to do it myself. There we go. So it appears as if I've actually got play in my steering rack. I don't know if that's healthy or not. Probably not. As I mentioned, I did replace that not too long ago. So I'm hoping that that's not an issue. But I'm sure anytime you have movement independent of your actual steering wheel is probably bad. So it's locked currently, and I don't know, since both tires are off the ground, if that much play is actually an issue or not, but I'll have to look into that. What I did want to mention about this wheel, though, is I have a little bit of up and down play, so my wheel bearing is going out on this side. It's not terrible yet, but I did actually notice, probably for the last 2 weeks, since it's gotten a little bit warmer here, that it's been making noise on this side. So I kind of expected to find that, but I do have some play like this. It tilts one way or the other. It's very minor, but you can hear it, and it means that my wheel hub is going out. So that'll be another part I'll have to look into, but altogether not terrible. I mean, the car has almost 229,000 miles on it, so it's to be expected. It's old. But I wanted to do kind of a final note on my suspension troubleshooting here, to make sure and isolate that it wasn't just this inner tie rod going bad, and that's the reason that I have that play, despite the fact that the steering wheel is obviously moving a little bit at lock. There's a little bit of slop there. What I initially did was I jacked up each side of the car and put it on jack stands separately so that I could isolate anything that would happen when both sides were off the ground. So, yeah, I can't really demonstrate it, but with both tires off the ground, when I move this tire to produce that kind of slop in the steering wheel, it does move the inner tie rod on both sides. So I can see it moving on this side or on this side. So it doesn't appear that either of them are bad. The actual steering rack seems fine, other than that bit of slop in the steering wheel. And then, of course, the ball joint there, and this guy, the wheel bearing here. That'll be replaced.